And let's call that live. Hey guys, Professor Bell, Comic Book University. And hey, Sean, oh my God, how do you pronounce that last name? s.h.i.e.l.d. What's going on, man? Hey, thanks for all those things you're sending on Twitter. I like seeing all that stuff. Not Brand X, really? They're gonna like, who asked for that? Who asked for more not Brand X? All right, guys, we're gonna get into a couple things today. I've actually got a lot here, but I'm gonna try and blow through it. This first one, we'll see. All right, so the first thing I want to talk about here, Dick Fillmore. Hey, what's going on? Yes, fellow nerds, what's up? Okay, so all this activity in chat, it says that nobody's watching. What's up with that? So, social issues in comics. Okay, now I know that there are, people are bringing it to my attention that there are comic book websites out there. I haven't seen any comic book websites, but I have seen comic book YouTube channels that are really hard on the idea of integration and diversity in the comics. And I've got nothing to do with them. Nothing. I don't know what to say, but something I just wanted to bring up that I see, and I don't know if these people actually really liked comic books or not. I don't know their history. I don't know anything about them. But I mean, like, I just started looking through, just for the sake of conversation, I made a quick little list here. Spider-Man used to address prejudice in the comic books. He also, Stan Lee actually needed to make a Spider-Man comic with no comic book authority code on it, just to address drug issues and don't take drugs. You know what I'm saying? Like, this was essentially the main beginning of the end for the comic books code authority. I mean, Green Arrow, his sidekick was a drug addict. Speedy was a drug addict. You know what I'm saying? I believe it was heroin. He was taking heroin, like, right on the front cover. Green Arrow, I put Green Arrow. It's actually supposed to be Green Lantern, was labeled as a soft racist. You know, I see you helping the purples and all these other colors, but what have you done for the blacks? Like, that was a deep, powerful punch in the head issue. Yeah. Just the whole Green Arrow, Green Lantern series, actually it was Green Lantern, Green Arrow. You'd think, like, why would these two knuckleheads team up? Just because they're both green? Like, they got green in their names? No. If you read the comic, you guys know. It was because Green Arrow took Green Lantern around and said, I'm going to show you the Earth. You're not from here anymore, man. Let me show you the problems that are actually happening on this planet. And that's why all that was happening. Lois Lane. Do you remember the one time Lois Lane disguised herself as a black person? Just so that she could see and report on how horrible black people actually have it in life. Yeah. Here's something. Have you ever even read a Silver Surfer or an X-Men comic? I mean, I started listing, like, on the original list I was doing, scratch notes. I started Manuel Cabeza. What's up, man? And Sean s.h.i.e.l.d. Man, have tons of social issue stories, right? X-Men. Yeah, see? You got to it before I actually got to it on my list. But I mean, like, I actually started trying to list all the things that just Silver Surfer alone got to. I wasn't going to mention individually all the things. Like, every single issue of the X-Men was social issues. So I can't help but to wonder, after the whole hashtag Make Mine Milkshake thing, these people who are complaining about the social issues in Marvel right now, look, I get that it seems to be, like, you know, really big. I think that the main issue is, and I don't consider an issue at all, is Twitter and Facebook and just in general social media. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I see it as, you know, an immediate response, reactionary thing, and people don't take the time to think before they expel their thoughts. You know what I'm saying? Most people on average, you give them something and they're not going to right away react and start attacking. No. Instead, on Twitter, though, and places like that, they can. So, look, I understand conservatism. Believe it or not, I understand conservatism, and I'm okay with conservatism. You know what I'm saying? I really am, because I get it. I genuinely do. But I see a larger picture, and listening to both sides is important. It really is important. You know, it's funny, my wife and I were just having this discussion about Last Man Standing being canceled. It was actually a really good show, and Tim Allen, although he's a conservative, if you ever really watch that show, he makes really good points. It's very hard to dispute almost everything that he says. Some things you could, I understand, but he makes a very sensible argument for the things he's saying, and he's willing to admit where he or his party is wrong many times. And yet the show was canceled, and I'm very disappointed that it was canceled. But whatever, man. Like, just, it was actually one of my wife's favorite shows, Tim Allen. Anyway, guys, sorry, I usually am always really tired, but yeah, I'm tired right now. You're gonna see the explained in a minute that I put up, and the spotlight on story. I'm wearing the same clothes. I'm exhausted right now, so sorry, I'm always tired. And it's funny because on Nerderkey, the Nerderkey channel, last night, while I'm writing down all my notes for the spotlight and story before I actually filmed it, I'm listening to a 40-minute or so long Nerderkey thing that they put up just 4 hours prior with Maze Arcana. That's Satine Phoenix and Rudy Rutenberg. They were the first people on Nerderkey on YouTube, if you guys aren't familiar with it. They are the first channel, Maze Arcana, to live stream their Dungeons and Dragons games, which is really sick. And it's the 3.0 version of Dungeons and Dragons, the Eberron world. So within the first minute, Satine Phoenix actually says, because Dave asked her, what's your secret to getting all this stuff done? And it's funny because he asked me the same thing. He didn't say my secret, but he's like, how do you get out so many videos? I was like, it's easy. Don't sleep. And that's the exact answer that Satine Phoenix gave. Yeah. Realistic, the whole conversation could have ended at that point. You didn't need the other 39 minutes. But, yeah, anyway. So, listen, as far as social issues are concerned, I get it. But now the thing that's getting me, the reason why I'm even bringing this stuff up, okay? It's like, Professor Bill, why are you bringing this stuff up? Hey, true mate, what's going on, brother? Why exactly is it? Dick Fillmore, yes, I am into the cosmic arcs more. Agreed. But Dick, you also have to remember, why is it that they actually became Silver Surfer actually became popular in the first place and allowed for that Volume 3 stuff to start happening? The main reason why is because college kids started looking at Silver Surfer and saying, this guy is the most philosophical son of a gun in comics ever. And his internal dialogue, it's got to have been the inspiration for Dritz Duerden from R.A. Salvatore. Has to have been, because like his internal dialogues, are just so amazing. Like the philosophy that he gets into, it's absurd. So yeah. Anyway, the reason why I'm bringing this stuff up is because DC Comics has now pretty much fully joined the fight with with Marvel against sexism, against racism, against all that good stuff. They actually just came out strong. Several people during the San Diego Comic-Con. This was something that I think a lot of people overlooked, but I'd seen it, and I just, wow. And I did actually see a report that I couldn't find again today that I'm shocked at. I'm wondering if they actually took it down, but 2 people minimum, Jim Lee was one of them, executives in DC are like, yeah, you might have heard we've got this president, we had this election, okay, and this president with some things going on. Anyway, our answer to that is we've got a Muslim superhero now. It's like, they've actually had several Muslim superheroes, so where's this coming from? It turns out this guy was actually in charge of, one of the people in charge of DC's Legends of Tomorrow. I don't know if you guys remember Almighty Isis back in the day when I was a wee little lad and I used to watch TV, the Saturday morning cartoons. One of those Saturday morning cartoons was actually a live action, and it was Shazam, Captain Marvel at the time, but Shazam and Almighty Isis. It was the Isis Shazam hour or whatever it was called. Yeah, and it was amazing. It was absolutely amazing. Only lasted for a lousy season. What a crime against humanity. But it was amazing. And Isis was one of those characters, and she had the power of the Egyptian goddess Isis. She's just a mortal and blah, 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 blah. Well, she apparently just got introduced to DC's Legends of Tomorrow. Now, personally, as a guy who's actually in Saudi Arabia for 5 years, doing various works, mostly teaching, but also doing business, marketing, for a time, I can assure you that to find an ISIS sympathizer would be insanity. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's the reason why they don't seem to be keeping her name. But even the idea of the power set and whatnot, like a Muslim worshipping or taking the powers of an Egyptian pantheon goddess, it doesn't flow. But regardless, just It's the idea that, the character is actually called Isis in the first place. Whatever. They chose to make her Muslim, to have her on the show, to represent. It's probably not the most well thought out plan that they've had, but I'm impressed. I'm impressed. DC's joining that. I don't know if you guys saw on Instagram, they had the DC editors and the Marvel editors, all these women and guys too, coming together for one of those hashtag Make Mine Milkshake things. So a lot of people were turning to DC like, oh yeah, DC doesn't do this stuff, blah, blah, blah. Sorry, guys. Now your argument is cut off too. You're going to go to Image Comics next? Because I'm pretty sure, look, diversity is the way of the future. Fall behind if you want. I don't even know what to tell you, but this is actually a big deal. And like the thing that actually set me off on this is that I see Chelsea Cain. Chelsea Cain she's a fiction writer, writes lots of novels. She put on Instagram recently. She was made famous to comic book people because she wrote the only 8 issues of that latest Mockingbird series. Issue 8, she dropped out after that because she had it put on the cover. Mockingbird was standing there with the "Ask Me About My Feminine Agenda" T-shirt on the beach. And people went crazy, and she got attacked on Twitter. She canceled her Twitter. It was actually really sad. I'm disappointed that she quit Twitter, but I don't know her situation, so it is what it is. But she just recently said, yeah, I was walking with my daughter on the streets just today or yesterday, whatever it was, a couple days ago, and my daughter got catcalled for the first time from out of a car. That's messed up. Now, a lot of people getting on there saying, but that's a compliment. Here's the funny thing. There are guys who are saying that, not women. On top of that, guys, a lot of these guys, they're not younger guys who are saying this. These are older guys. I wonder if these guys have daughters. Because I'm telling you right now, the hypocrisy, okay? Let it happen one time that these guys are out walking with their daughters, and all of a sudden some other, car full of people, okay? God forbid it's a mixed car as opposed to just a car of, white people or whatnot. God forbid. But all of a sudden, one catcall comes out. That dude's going to be chasing that car down, or, if there are enough conservatives, might even start shooting. So, hate to get really political here, but hypocrisy is what it is, man, and I don't know how else to look at it. Catcalling is ridiculous. I would not want anybody to do that for my daughters, for my mother, for my sisters, for anybody. You know what I'm saying? Just no. Wrong answer. Wrong answer. And it's a shame when we take ourselves out of that picture and choose to look at it from outside of the box as opposed to inside of the box. Because these are just world situations where we can all benefit from. Just my opinion. It's moving forward, dude. Welcome to evolution. Okay, moving on. Start off with a really negative thing, really hot topic. It kept me awake. Sorry. Yeah, I'm totally taking a nap after this. Okay, Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman is apparently set to appear in the Flashpoint movie. I've got a lot of negative for this. One, I know that the Flash is a mess. Everybody knows that the Flash is a mess. Oh my God, why are we having a mess with the Flash, for crying out loud? I just saw him and the guy playing Cyborg. I can't remember. I know Cyborg's name. Anyway, whatever. They were talking about their action figures. Saying, "Oh look, let's make them fight. Flash Force. Whatever." It was cute. Go buy my toys with my face on it. No thanks. No thanks. I'm going to see the movie first, if you don't mind. So, anyway, they're going to have Wonder Woman in this. If they're looking to have Wonder Woman save this debacle of a movie, look, I don't know why exactly they're doing Flashpoint. Sorry, Flashpoint led into the most controversial time in DC Comics. It's called the New 52, okay? It was just supposed to be a story that Jeff Johns made, and it's supposed to be standalone. And the very last moment, DC said, we could turn this into a crisis, but we're not calling it a crisis anymore, so we'll just call this a Flashpoint. It's a crisis, okay? We know a crisis when we see one. So, jumping into that, dude, Flashpoint is kind of controversial. Look, it was an amazing story if left by its own. If they're going to use this to take it away from the New 52 attitude, because the DC movies, the DC cinematic universe right now is in that New 52 kind of standpoint, which I don't know why in the name of God they made that decision to make these the New 52 characters. Horrible, horrible decision. Painfully terrible decision. Excuse me. And my chocolate milk, I use that to stay awake for some reason. I know, sugar, not a good idea, but it's keeping me awake. But it's also giving me burps. But why? Why would they do that? Why would they have kept them in? Okay, whatever. They're in the New 52 mindset right now. Hopefully, they can use Flashpoint to get them out of that. I heard they're going to try and get rid of Batfleck. Bad decision, unless Ben Affleck is the one who made the decision completely on his own, not enticed. Then I'm okay with it. Otherwise, no. He's the star. You don't get rid of him. You don't get rid of Robert Downey Jr. unless he actually wants to go. You don't get rid of him. You let him go if he chooses. So, yeah, listen, here's the thing. Just because Wonder Woman is the one standing light, and she's a big standing light, but putting Wonder Woman in a movie, if she's not going to be directed by Patty Jenkins, this could actually just wind up hurting Wonder Woman. I mean, like, this is something you have to protect Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman. See podcast number 32, my last Saturday's podcast, to know my full reasoning for that. You got to protect Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman because she's not ready to do this on her own. She's simply not. Without Patty Jenkins there, I don't know what the hell they're going to do. But I don't know, man. We'll see. I think that this could wind up being a terrible mess because if Flash is already a damn hot mess dumpster fire, then I don't see how you're going to turn around and make Wonder Woman something special. Not in this. Wonder Woman's not going to pick up the Flash. The Flash is going to drag down Wonder Woman. Okay, I have ignored the comments for too long. So let's see. Who else joined? Oh my God, I'm in. Oh hey, J. Scott Garibay, what's up, man? I haven't seen you in a little while. Good to see you again. Geez, oh my God, you guys have been talking a lot. Let's see. Marvel, their last two. Scott says their last two big occurrences and the main storylines were the death of War Machine and Black Widow. Very unwoke. Well, the death of Black Widow was pretty sick. It's cool. I didn't know that you were actually into comic books that much. Okay, I got a question for you. This is something that nobody's been able to tell me because I actually asked. Scott, what does the J stand for in your name? I have to ask. You don't have to answer, but I got to ask. Okay, you are calling out X-Men, but right now they're very toned down, muted, I would say, in comics. They do not serve speaking out on social aspect right now. Maybe never again. I'm going to completely disagree with you on that, Mr. Garibay, and the reason why is because, was it this week or last week? Whatever it was, I think it was this week. The X-Men Gold, they just went to a Senate meeting. It was this week. This Wednesday, I reviewed it. They went to, Kitty Pryde had to go to a Senate meeting where they're talking about deporting her. Not just her, all mutants. They're talking about deporting all the mutants. Mind you, this is after the whole Secret Empire thing. This is after it because they already finished the Secret Empire crossover arc. Insanely, bad as far as I'm concerned. But yeah, they... No, man. They're talking about, the senators are talking about, and it's all because of racial issues. That's it. The senators, they just saved that senator and the entire Senate's butt. And they were like, listen, we have to vote against you anyways. Why? Well, we have voters. I actually made a comment in that video about how now I know this is not in the current universe because your current congressmen do not care about the voters. Once they get in, they don't talk to voters again for the next 3 years until they're up for re-election again. Then they talk to the voters. Aside from that, they listen to their corporate donors. I don't care if you're Republican or Democrat. That's all that any of these senators care about. So, but that's the issue that's going on right now. And the thing that they were just using recently was those the nanobite sentinels, where they came in and they were attacking people, and they were attacking everybody and saying, we're attacking mutants. Because evolution is a form of mutation. We're constant. So just somebody with like a different strain of hair color, the dominant as opposed to recessive genes, like just Pundit Square. Check it out. So. Yeah, man, no, they're big on this right now. Oh, I see Brevin Campbell in the chat. Let me get down to you in a minute. Dick Fillmore, I'm old, never heard, unwoke, not into millennial lingo. No, I'm good with it. You know what? Like as a English teacher at the university level overseas, I actually it took me a little while, but I had to get into appreciating how the morphology of the language works. So I'm cool with it. I'm cool with it. It does take a while to get into it, and sometimes I do get made fun of. You know, it's like I remember when the term peeps first came out. It's like it made sense that it would be peoples, but somebody said peeps, and I don't have a problem with asking questions, you know, before thinking about it because I don't want to come to my own conclusions when I can just ask somebody who's there right now who just used the word. So like, what is peeps? And they're like, peoples. So of course, peoples by itself is incorrect language, right? You don't say peoples, my peoples. You say, you know, my people, but you say peoples instead. And it's just, so it's like, okay, so it's a morphology on a morphology of a terminology as opposed to a single word. So you're really, wow, what's next? Peas? Where's my peas at? Whatever, it's fun. So I remember people actually laughing at me when I asked that. What does peeps mean? It means people. And just, I got like a row of laughter. It's like, bring it. Oh, legend. Okay, so, and TrueMate really quick. I'm liking the animation ad on the right. Yes, sorry, I should get into that really quick. These are the two lenticular covers that were just announced yesterday for these particular issues of, I believe that's 988 and 989 for Action Comics. They are supposed to reveal the identity of Mr. Oz. That's right. Oh, and I don't even have that on here. I forgot that I actually put those up there in advance. These two lenticular covers. I don't know if I'm actually going to get the lenticular covers of this. I don't know. I got the button ones, but and 3 of those 4 are signed by Jason Fabok, the guy who actually did the art for those. So, but I got to find him again to to do the last issue. Damn it! But yeah, I've actually got an opinion on who he might be. I think that he might be Batman. Now, that's a very low guesstimation. I'm going to say like I'm 40% positive it's Batman. That's who Mr. Oz is. But yeah, I know it sounds weird. It doesn't seem to make a lot of sense, but I think that it's Batman from a different timeline. That's just my opinion. And whatever, man. Feel free to make... I'm a grown man. Go ahead. I am 47. Woke is not a millennial term. Oh, wow. You're 5 years older than me, Scott? Jeez. Brevin likes Legends. Nice. I actually got to start watching it again. I haven't, but I need to get back on there. Anyway, Manuel, good to know Marvel and DC can work for common good. I know, right? Pretty soon we'll have more amalgam comics, right? True, mate. Totally agree. Understand this woke stuff. Dick says, X-Men been lame since Onslaught to me and ruined Logan's origin. I don't like the idea that they gave him an origin. I was very happy with the idea that he never had an origin. You know what I'm saying? You know, I'm sure you know, they only did that because when Fox got the rights to, oh, and I got to talk about that in a minute. I might jump on that now. In fact, you know what? Let's just, what do you call it? They, when Fox got the rights, they knew right away, oh, they're going to do an X-Men movie. Holy crap. We got to give them an origin story because you know they're going to give him an origin story. They didn't in that first movie, but they decided, you know, let's give him an origin story really quick. So, yeah, that's the only reason why they did that. So it was rushed. It really was. Sean Sandrai, just Sean S. X-Men are dealing with deportation right now. What are you talking about? Oh, wow. Sean already jumped on it. Woke, I've heard. Woke is definitely millennial speak. It's all millennial speak, man. It's all good. Brevin Campbell 12. We need Kamala at some point. I'm loving me some Kamala. Who's Kamala? Kamala Khan, man. 616 died in the 90s to me, except Annihilation. Oh, dick, dude. Yeah, Annihilation was sick. When I get into Annihilation, that's going to be multi-part stories. Fortunately, I'll have most of the characters already explained by that point, so I can just get right into the stories without having to worry about making the explained in a minutes first. Kamala's a great character. Find her rather funny character. I do also, and you know, I watched a channel. I'm not going to name it because I'm not trying to call anybody out. I'm not trying to call anybody out on the comic, but they said this guy actually said, yeah, these they're making, they think that Miss Marvel, Kamala Khan, is somebody special. She's not. when you ask girls, what's the thing that they want to be the most? They say, I want to be a princess and I want to be pretty and things like that. So you give them a girl who changes shape and distorts her body and looks stupid while she does it. Like, that's just, how is that ever going to work? Do we not actually see the sales of the comics and that it's one of the biggest selling comics and there's a reason why she's crossing over? They're not trying to force her on us. She's being demanded. You know what I'm saying? Kamala Khan is hugely loved. The whole pretty thing, yes, I get it. The pretty princess thing. You know what else girls know? They know their body goes through changes and things like this, and this is a representation of that. These are comics made by women, drawn by women, edited by women. Like, come on, man. Like, I think it comes to, like the whole purpose of the feminist movement is men, stop telling women how to act, how to be. This is not the medieval times or all that time before. It's not the 50s anymore. Just stop. So that's all that the movement means in the first place. So legit. Come on, guys. Like, the comic sells. The comic sells well. It's hard to argue with the sales of a comic, Somebody actually tried to tell me that, not me. I was looking in one of my comic book collecting Facebook groups, and I chose to just stay out of this argument. But they're just like, oh, yeah, X-Men isn't selling. Look at these sites. And the very sites that he's talking about have X-Men at #1 in sales right now. Dude, come on, man. Come on. Do you not read the articles that you post just because you see a clickbait title? Come on. So, Mockingbird was awesome. Brevin Campbell. Kevin Bramble. Oh, my God. See how tired I am? Brevin Campbell says, yeah, Mockingbird is an awesome character. Love that book. I do also, one of these days I'll get into do it. When I do an Explained in a Minute for Mockingbird, I will probably do that series just so everybody can actually see what it was as opposed to judging by what other people said based on that one cover. Totally agree. I would go to a full Terminator 2 on that car if I was a kid. I love the, Manuel, I love that Mockingbird cover. Yeah. Dick, I adore 61 to 96, Marvel Earth 616, DC Comics 30s to 80s. And you know what? Dick, you and I, we are the true collectors out there. Oh, and I'm going to have a couple of comics here that I'm going to go over. I actually got a lot of comics this week. I hit a thrift store. So, none taken, good. Man, you're really old school, no offense. No, it's all good. It's all good. Oh, actually, you're talking to Dick. Well, we're both old school. The old and the new. The old gods and the new gods, right? Game of Thrones. What did I just miss? I just missed a whole lot. For crying out loud. It's jumping. I've arrived, good professor. Hey, Timo Harry, what's up, brother? Oh my God, it really jumped big time. I totally understand people. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm going to wind up missing a bunch of this stuff, but anyway... Okay, so true, mate. I understand that people like crossovers, but personally, I just want a superhero movie that doesn't try to be an entry point for another movie. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, true, mate. Yes. When you're going to make a movie, please just make your movie. Don't make a movie that's supposed to be an introductory to another movie. If that's the case, call it a prequel, call it an issue 0, and give me the movie for free. Because that stuff belongs on Free Comic Book Day or Free Movie Day. There should be a Free Movie Day. When you're going to do something like that, don't clickbait me. I hate clickbait. Dick Fillmore, late comics industry nearly killed comics. It did. Both companies, both of the big two, actually went bankrupt. DC Comics went bankrupt first. They didn't actually go bankrupt, excuse me, but they put them up for sale to Marvel specifically. A lot of people don't know this. What was it, 1994 or 96? I forget what it was. It's funny, it was not too long after the death of Superman, which was a huge deal for them and all the changes they did. But with all the changes they were doing, they weren't sure of the direction of the company and all that stuff, and they started to lose a lot of sales. Because when you make changes, it's terrible, it's terrible. You know what I'm saying? Kyle Rayner, this is not my Green Lantern. He's got some amazing stories, dude. He's got some amazing stories. And just, Azrael, and meanwhile, he's a huge deal over in the Detective Comics currently, right? So... when you make changes, it does turn people off, but you have to change things up a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Just look at Rocky Road Ice Cream. I actually don't like Rocky Road Ice Cream. That was a bad example, but my point is, my point still stands. So we have DC Comics actually offered itself for sale to Marvel. and Marvel considered buying them because they really wanted, Superman and Batman, of course. And they were like, no, we're not gonna buy you. They actually said that, we're not gonna buy you. So good. I'm very glad that happened. We need that diversity. You know what I'm saying? We need that different cross-genre platform. Because especially knowing that 2 years later, Marvel actually did go bankrupt. Ooh, could you imagine? Like superheroes. Could you imagine if the DC universe were spread all over the place? And like Universal Studios, or God forbid, Paramount owned Batman or something like that? Oh, dear God, shoot me now. So, edgy Brian Michael Bendis stuff, Dick Fillmore says, I find garbage. Ah, come on, man. Come on. Brevin, your days of reading comics, be nice. We've arrived, good professor. Yeah, Timo Harry, what's up, man? Depends on what Bendis writes. Sometimes I think he's... yes, I was just going to say, as soon as I saw that comment, I was like, but Jessica Jones! It's good stuff. Avid reader of the 80s, 90s. Now I just collect the classic arcs. It's hard to blame you. But there is some good stuff out there. Hated JJ. Really hoping it's Jay. Opening scene was lame. Brevin, I wonder, maybe Wonder Woman and Flash are going to reboot the universe together. See, that's exactly what I was thinking. If they reboot it out of that New 52 genre, that would be great. Character series. If you are a superpower, tell me. You can only feel... Oh, my God. Okay, I'm not reading that, Dick. Oh, man. Never leave my chat, dude. Never leave my chat. Some people think Mr. Oz is Jor-El, Superman's father. Oh, my God. That would be sick. That would be sick. Sean Sindrai, you need credit for that. You deserve credit for that. If that's Jor-El, that would be insane. Free movie day. Totally need a free movie day. I'm glad I got some love on that one. Glad there wasn't a buyout. I like diversity between my providers. Exactly. We don't need a monopoly there. Okay, so back to where we are. So Jonathan Hickman just confirmed what everybody freaking knew, that the Fantastic Four was canceled over the fallout of Fox owning the Fantastic Four. Now, it's funny. The X-Men thing started to die out, too. Mind you, this is all coming from... I don't need this. This is all from Ike Perlmutter, all right? Isaac Perlmutter, was the CEO of Marvel Comics. Now, since Disney owns them, they just recently reshuffled his title to something else. Because he ain't the CEO of Jack. His position hasn't changed. His power has changed drastically, but whatever. Ike Perlmutter is only there for the sake of conversations. And it's funny. You might say, well, how come he's not, ticked off at Sony for Spider-Man? Well, because his best friend coming up in the world of comics was Avi Arad. You can see plenty of my podcast where I dish out plenty of hate on Avi Arad. What do you call it? So anyway, the bonding moment between me and Comic Pop was our mutual hate of Avi Arad. Like, forget about it, man. So that's actually why I started writing for them. I was like, all right, we've got this mutual respect and our hatred of Avi, so yeah, we're good. Anyway, and all this stuff is off of stuff that Stan Lee, for the most part, stated, and the stuff that actually came out publicly. So anyway, yeah, Ike Perlmutter, man, this freaking guy. When this happened, when these rights were sold over to Fox, Ike Perlmutter got so mad, especially with the whole we're going to keep the license by having the movie made and not revealing it. So before those two, like Fantastic Four and Fantastic Four 2, Rise of the Silver Surfer, before those even came out, there was another movie made, Corwin, John Corwin, Jeff Corwin, can't remember his name. Anyway, he's known for writing, I won't say crappy movies, but crappy movies, all right? Like Hammer Films movies almost, all right? And he made a Fantastic Four movie. I had to go out and pay $10 to buy it on VHS bootleg at a flea market, just because I had to see it. And for all intents and purposes, it was really good for the 90s. Okay? Remember the Captain America movie that came out in 89? I'm just saying. So that was actually really good and probably the most faithful out of all of the Fox films. And they only gave him $1 million budget, and they made this incredible movie. Roger Corman, that was his name. His name is Roger Corman. So anyway, he made this, and Disney. Fox had no intention of actually releasing it. So they're just like, okay, good job, you made the movie. We fulfilled our rights. Go away now. Roger Corman was pissed. He's trying really hard to get the movie to actually be public and to do a documentary about it and all this other stuff. And I really hope that he succeeds. I genuinely hope that he succeeds because he was screwed, blued, and tattooed. That was a line from La Bamba. Good movie. Way back in the day. Anyway, so basically the what happened there is Ike Perlmutter got so mad that he realized that this is what Fox was going to do, and they were never going to get the rights back. He walked around, and in the offices of Marvel, if they had Fantastic Four, the First Family posters up, he actually ripped them off the wall as he was walking by. Yeah, if people did like their original, everything's original art there. If they did their original artwork of a Fantastic Four member, put it up there, he'd walk by, he'd rip it off. He was just so mad. So he couldn't even look at the Fantastic Four anymore because of that deal that was made. Sucks. It did keep Marvel afloat until Disney can come along and swoop them up. It's too bad Disney didn't come along sooner, man. Like, think about that. Think about that lost opportunity. If Disney would have just come along, I think it's like 3 years earlier. Imagine that, man. All the rights would be there and boom. But you know what? Like, if you don't struggle for something, it's hard to really say that you did anything for it. I told my wife I was going to mention this. I went in and I had myself a chicken sandwich, the chopped meat chicken, whatever. I don't usually eat deli meats anymore. You can't hardly find them anymore unless they're store-bought, which is not the same. I'm an Italian-American from Jersey, all right? We got delis. New York, New Jersey, New York City, I mean. We got delis, all right? So I went and I made a quick little sandwich, and all that was left in the loaf was 2 heels. That's fine. We have 2 more loaves of bread, you know what I'm saying, on the side. But I grabbed the heels. And I just look at my wife, and she looks at me, and she's looking at the heels, and I'm just, giving a smile. I was like, it's funny. You say that you grew up poor, but I think that I grew up a lot poorer than you. Because if you didn't grow up poor, or if you did grow up poor, you would not look down on the heels. Heels were mandatory. And anybody who grew up poor, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? I ate 2 heels with some sandwiches, or with some mustard and some cheese, and a little bit of chicken slice. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was my lunch that I just had, all right? Like, 2 heels. I don't have a problem with that. Don't tell me you grew up poor if you didn't eat the heels. If you don't still eat the heels, because it's ingrained in you, all right? I don't want to hear that crap. So anyway, I love my little side tangents. Hope you guys do too, honestly. So anyway, Tom Brevoort, he was the senior VP of publishing at the time. Now he's the executive editor. So he actually is the only one who, to this day, is still going around saying, oh, no. It was because sales are really low for Fantastic Four. Look, sales are low for the Fantastic Four. But you don't cancel your first comic book just because sales are low or whatever. You put better writers on it or whatever. And Jonathan Hickman is apparently not the first person, but he's coming out and he's saying, Jonathan Hickman wrote some of the best Fantastic Four out there since the Stan Lee and Jack Kirby days. You know what I'm saying? Like, he came out and just, incredible stuff. And he came out and he's like, it was absolutely because Fox owns it. So, yeah, he gave a lot of behind the scenes. That's where a lot of the stuff is actually coming from. So, I'm going to call that straight from the horse's mouth. Let's see, what do we got in the chat right now? Sean says there's a variety now where a variant now where Superman sees Mr. Oz and he's shocked. Yes, exactly. They're not going to show the cover because it's giving away too much. And I think Ewing should write Fantastic Four when they come back. If they come back. I have faith that it's going to come back, but we'll see. Timo says, Timo Harry, if Marvel had kept Fantastic Four, we could have seen Hulk vs. Thing in a Fantastic Four movie. Oh, how sexy that would have been. Especially since, Marvel doesn't have the rights to the distribution for the Hulk, so they'll never make another solo movie because they can't make any money off of the distribution of the videos. So only what happens in the theaters and the merchandise, which quite frankly isn't enough. They need to have the distribution rights. So, okay, Milestone Comics, guys. You guys remember Milestone Comics? Now we're talking some serious diversity. All black superheroes, okay? And that's where Icon and Static come from. You remember Static Shock on TV? Static is from Milestone Comics. Well, that obviously ended. There were 4 people actually in charge of the comic division. Three of them apparently sold their rights to, from my understanding, whatever it was, to Derek T. Dingle. All right. And the rest was originally owned by Dwayne McDuffie. So it was a 50, from what reporting says, and I don't know the insides of this. This is just what I know. This was actually a 50-50 between these two people at this point. But in 2011, Dwayne actually died. Dwayne McDuffie died, complications of heart surgery. That sucks. That sucks. He was actually the writer for Icon and certain characters like that. Now, there are a lot of different ways that you can look at this. Icon is basically a ripoff of Superman. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, almost every character out there is a ripoff of Superman. So, yeah, like seriously, you look at Superman and you look at the Shadow. You know what I'm saying? Every character is a ripoff of one of these two characters, these two different archetypes. So, there's that. Now, you look at personally wanted Static Shock rather than Black Lightning in a series. Yeah, kind of. Yeah, I hear you, True Mate. But I do hear Timo recalls Static. Yes, I recall Static. I just see you sitting there drinking tea in your smoking jacket. Yes, I recall Static Shock. I'm down for Icon and Static Shock Rebirth. Well, you know what? Let's get right into that. Now, Milestone is its own entity, but they're working closely with DC. Currently, plans are still in advance to go forward with this. On top of that, I've heard rumor that Static is actually supposed to appear in the Black Lightning TV show. Hello. Loving it. I'm loving it. If they're going to do that, I'm down for it. Now, what's his name? Derek T. Dingle is moving forward with Milestone 2.0 and working closely with with DC. And he's actually involved in a lot of projects. See, the estate, Colleen, is the wife of Colleen McDuffie, is Dwayne McDuffie's wife, the late Dwayne McDuffie's wife. She is in charge of the estate of her husband, and she's basically saying that no, they've been stalwarting, and we still own 50% of those rights, and we haven't come to an agreement for this, that, and the other thing, and I want everything. I want everything. Sean Sindrai, Marvel has 3 to 4 Superman ripoffs. Nah, dude. They've got at least 10. They've got at least 10. You know what? Maybe I should make a top 10 video of just the ones in Marvel alone, right? But that'd be mean to Marvel. But at the same time, I've been way too Marvel on my channel than DC, so I really do need to even that balance out. I got to start making some DC explained in a minute characters. I actually have a Richard Dragon finished and ready to go. We're going to get into stuff like that. Okay, Sentry and Gladiator as Soup's clones, but having awesome capes. Who else would be a Soup clone in Marvel? Well, you got Sentry and Gladiator. Thor, believe it or not, was actually, because just the idea they put the cape on him like that, DC actually planned on suing Marvel, and they thought against it because Marvel was already getting really huge, and they knew that they had the money. Unlike Fawcett Comics, Marvel had the money to keep going because they didn't have, Fawcett Comics only had the one character, Shazam, Captain Marvel, to keep them going. All their other characters didn't do anything. So even though their sales were greater than for that character than anything else, DC had so many different characters that were so popular. They were very prolific, and they were able to keep their sales enough that they were making more money, and off of all the characters in general. And they knew that they would win. They were hoping, they were banking on, and they did eventually win that lawsuit against Fawcett Comics. But the Wiz Comics production of Captain Marvel, Shazam. The problem is that they knew that Marvel also had a plethora of characters, and they were coming up fast and hard and strong and had the marketing resources. They had Stan Lee, for crying out loud. They had Stan Lee. And they knew that they couldn't last in a lawsuit against Marvel. So that's why they backed off of the Thor concept. But that's actually known. You can look that stuff up. But yeah, absolutely. Different characters you cannot... How many different characters can you count with big red capes? I hear you, True Mate. I hear you. But yeah, Captain Hyperion and Blue Marvel. You can literally just keep on going on. Aquarian was the one that DC said, okay, this is an easy lawsuit. Aquarian. Not because he looked like Superman or anything like that, but because the backstory was exactly Superman's backstory. All right, look up Aquarian. He was actually big in the Fantastic Four comics. They had to radically change his origin story because DC was like, listen, this is an easy lawsuit. We're going to destroy you on this if you keep moving forward with this. Change his backstory or you're toast. And Marvel was like, okay, gotcha. So, yeah. What do you call it? Anyway, I hardly ever think of Hyperion. Oh, go check out Daddy Issues, man. Really good story. Anyway, so all these stories up. Anyway, I didn't know what to think. Like I said, I can go many different ways with this Milestone lawsuit that's about to start up, because you want to think that that Derek T. Dingle, like, are you a dummy? How'd you not solve this stuff over there? But Colleen McDuffie is saying that no, they're stalwarting and stalling, legally. They're doing all this stuff. I don't know why they would do something like that. And let's be realistic. Doesn't it make sense to finish out some kind of a contract with somebody and get the full property rights or a decision, a locked solid decision? This is how much you're going to get off of these rights once we actually, or before we actually make all these deals with these bigger things. Because if I drew a comic book character and wrote a story for him and had an issue 1 and just left it go on the internet, okay? It's on the internet. It's legally mine. I can prove that I made this character before anybody else did, okay? That being the case, Pop-Up Comics comes along. There's no Pop-Up Comics to my understanding, but Pop-Up Comics pops up and says, hey, man, I'm going to make a comic book character. I'm going to take your comic book character. And they make it, and I realize that they're doing it. It's like, whoa, I'm going to sue you right now. And they say, okay, listen, we'll settle out of the court. We'll handle this stuff. Let's deal with whatever. Do you think that they would want to wrap up that lawsuit with me and settle out of court before or after they announce that they've got to deal with Marvel to have the character appear over there? Probably before, right? So it only makes sense that they would have tried to do that. And maybe they didn't. Maybe they completely dropped the ball. But this guy, Derek T. Dingle, is actually not the coolest name in the world, but son of a gun, this guy's got a lot of stuff going on. Like, he just finished wrapping up production of a movie on Thurgood Marshall, the former Supreme Court Justice. Holy crap, not playing around. This guy, he's on every major news channel for the better part of my understanding. Into movies, he's into all sorts of different media, owns several different enterprises. The guy knows what the hell he's doing. So either he seriously overlooked this little bit of nonsense over here, or she wasn't playing ball. I mean, wow. So I don't know exactly how that worked, but either way, yeah, yeah, pretty big deal. Anyway, that's the way I'm looking at that. Let me just finish this last part off over here. I don't know if you guys saw some of the behind the scenes stuff for Guardians of the Galaxy 2. I'm not happy and I'm not having it. Couple of cool things there. Like, for instance, I think most of us already knew this, that James Gunn actually had to argue with Marvel Cinematic Studios and all that stuff to keep in, or with the editors mostly, to keep in that part about Adam Warlock at the very end, to see his cocoon. He had to fight to keep that in. I don't see why he had to fight to keep that in. That just doesn't make sense to me, but whatever, man. But Stallone. Seeing Stallone in the blooper reel, he couldn't say Ravagers. He kept saying Ravengers. I'm sorry, what does Ravenger even mean? What does that mean? That doesn't make sense. Listening to him say this stuff sounded like a child who, I get it, memnotically, there's a reason why M comes before N. You know what I'm saying? It's easier for a kid to say aminal than animal, okay? Because phonetically, it's very hard to do N before M. You know what I'm saying? So hearing a kid doing aminal, no, animal. It's a very difficult, believe it or not, like, we're used to it now, but for kids or for foreign speakers, it's very hard because it doesn't make logical sense phonetically to have N come before M, even with a vowel separating it. There's my English background. So, but for something like this, Ravenger, why are you adding in an N? Why are you actually adding in the letter N? Tell me how that makes sense. Any way, shape, or form that you'd like to, please. The way I look at it is, sorry, I'm coming down hard, fellow Italian American, I don't like Stallone. You know what I'm saying? Look, I like him in Rocky, I like him in Rambo, I like him in stuff like that, but I still hold a grudge. Yes, I actually do hold grudges. I hold a grudge against him for the whole Judge Dredd thing. Like, he ruined that franchise, ruined it, wrecked it. Like, this was, Judge Dredd just wasn't popular enough at the time. That, it was literally like, oh, I'm a Judge Dredd fan. They're making a Judge Dredd movie. Dude, you got to commit. They're not going to mess up this movie. Okay, they're not going to mess up this movie. Come on in. You got to see this movie. Arnold Schwarzenegger. Sylvester Stallone's going to be the movie. He's got the lip thing and everything like you'd expect him to be able to do. It's going to look awesome behind that mask. It's going to look awesome. Him doing that, the law thing, keeping his mouth, the mean. I can't do it. You know what I'm saying? And keeping the mean look on his face and all that stuff. That's going to look awesome. Seeing him do this, he's going to be perfect for this role. Then we realized, oh, freaking little silly pretty boy. Nah, man, I'm the star. You got to see my face all the time. I'll keep the mask on for the first 2 minutes of the movie. I'm taking it off, and I'll never put it on again. And I will do the whole, I just assassinated Judge Dredd. And we're happy that I did. All right? I have never forgiven him for that. Look, I'm happy to see him in this movie, that movie, all these other movies. He's a good actor, but he's not a good comic book movie actor. And even now, he played... Oh, for crying out loud, I just did the Explained in a Minute 2 months ago for him. I'm just all over the place right now. But he played Starhawk, for crying out loud. He played this character. Character's supposed to wear a mask. When have you ever seen the character without a mask, right? He didn't put the helmet on once. Not once. Still hasn't learned his lesson. Maybe it's just a joke that James Gunn was doing with us, but you know what? And the thing that's really killing me about it is James Gunn is talking about reuniting the original cast, or not the original cast, but the original Guardians for Part 3. If that's the case, take James Gunn right out of the picture right now, because I don't want to see freaking Sylvester Stallone in a superhero movie anymore. He doesn't deserve it. He's lost his superhero privileges, and this right here just proves my case. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Totally unneeded FaceTime. Even worse than in the Venom thing. Yeah. Good point. Bringing up Venom in Spider-Man 3, True Mate. Really good point. What update, Timo Harry, what update did Sean s.h.i.e.l.d. give? Also, Marvel has 3 Batman, Night Thrasher, Moon Knight, and, the Batman ones. Yes, exactly. Oh, they've got plenty, man. Yeah, Night Thrasher, Moon Knight, Nighthawk. For crying out loud, Daredevil is basically a version of that. There's a whole bunch of versions of Batman. But at the same time, Batman is a direct ripoff of The Shadow. So I've got The Shadow Explained in a Minute. You can go and check him out. He existed long before there was ever a Batman. A long time before. So, yeah, no. It might be hard since Vats Astro is a mutant. Yeah, true. Yeah, true. I'm sure they could fake that, though. I'm sure that wouldn't be a big deal. They don't even have to... Yeah, because his psychic thing. They don't even have to give him the psychic thing. You know what I'm saying? When push comes to shove. But yeah, why would they even put him in there? He would actually, that's the reason why I did the Explained in a Minute, because I know a lot of people are like, oh, I've seen a Guardians of the Galaxy character with a shield, and I didn't understand what this character was all about. Like, is he Captain America in the future? So it's funny. It doesn't get the most views, that video, but I do have, you go and check it out. I actually get a lot of thank yous on that video in the comments because I explained the character. So they understand now how come he has the shield. So, and I did all of it within a minute. A minute 30, whatever. So, guys, let's talk about Zazie Beetz. Zazie Beetz is a cool name. And she, if you don't remember the name, and you're just like, well, I know the name, it's Domino. She's going to be Domino in Deadpool 2. Yeah. Listen, I see a lot of hate, and it's funny, what I see, at least in my circles, I don't see any racism towards this, okay? And that's a damn good thing. What I actually see is a lot of people saying the same thing that I'm saying. And maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm just being naive, but maybe other people are being naive too. But the way that I'm seeing it is, people are complaining about her makeup, okay? Look, I don't care that she's black. Nina Thurman, that's her real name. One of these days I got to do her Explained in a Minute too. God, she's awesome. Such an amazing character. Currently in the Weapon X storyline, Mutants of Mass Destruction storyline. Amazing character. But I never knew if she was white or black. You know what I'm saying? She could be any ethnicity. I don't know. I've never known because she's got white paint on her all the time. And maybe it's not paint. I think it's actually just her skin color. But it's like pure white. Not even like albino white. No, like piece of paper white. So I never saw her as Caucasian. I never considered that. Not a single time I never considered her ethnicity. I'm like, okay, she's all white. You know, I never seen her parents, so I never cared. And, you know, Nina Thurman, that could be a white person's name. That could be a black person's name. It's probably not going to be an Asian name, but who knows? Maybe she's mixed. I don't know. I never considered her ethnicity once. Never once crossed my mind reading the comic books. So I don't care that they made her a black character. You know, it's like a black actress. They made a black actress her character. That never bugged me, okay? Kingpin never bugged me in the original Daredevil movie. In fact, he was freaking amazing in that role, and I can't imagine anybody else in that movie for that role, although Vince D'Onofrio does do a pretty bang-up job right now. But, yeah, man. Like, in fact, not worth getting into. Just talking about the physicality. Vincent D'Onofrio does not bring the physicality to it the way that I would expect him to, but it's still pretty good. But yeah, the fight scenes in the original Daredevil movie were actually pretty good, pretty damn good. But yeah, seeing her as Domino, it doesn't bother me. I don't care that she's got an afro. That's not even an afro. That's her natural hair just put into points. An afro is a very different hairstyle. So people saying, you know, oh, I don't dig the afro, not a problem. That's not an afro. Move on. What I do see is what I don't like about her, the character. I don't have a problem with the actress. I've never seen Atlanta, so I don't know if she's a good actress. I'm going to assume, I feel safely assume, that she's a good actress. The problem I have is the makeup. Like that little bit of, you know, it looks like it's just discoloration around the eye. That's a cute idea and all that stuff, but honestly, here's the deal with it, okay? I know a lot of people are saying, oh, comic book characters don't have to, you know, comic book movies don't have to have the characters look like the comic book characters. Blah, 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 blah. Here's the problem. Not when you're talking about Deadpool, okay? It was the first Fox movie to ever do that. Instead of putting on the black costumes and the black leather costumes and all that stuff for the X-Men and for Blade, and it really worked for Blade. I liked it better than the black coat with the bomber fluffy stuff on it. But listen, here's the deal. The idea that Deadpool, that Ryan Reynolds came out with Deadpool, finally got it done. He made the costume look perfect. Perfect. Colossus looked amazing. That CGI, Colossus looked better than in X-Men 2. My opinion, all right? He looked amazing. Having that costume look the way that it did, and even Negasonic Teenage Warhead, having that New Mutants style costume that she was wearing, holy crap, that's freaking awesome. I would have never thought to do something like that, but it worked out perfectly, all right? For them to have had all of that, and then to turn around and not do a perfect costume for Domino, very disappointed. So extremely disappointed. Okay, sorry. That costume has to me, a Deadpool, because we're all afraid that lightning's not going to be able to strike twice. They had 10 years plus to make this movie, all right? To at least write and rewrite again this script, okay? For them to finally be doing it now, dude, no. I know I myself, just like when Guardians of the Galaxy 2 was coming out, can lightning strike twice? You heard me on this podcast say it. You know what I'm saying? Can lightning strike twice? And I'm still saying it now with Deadpool 2. Can it strike twice? Well, right now, this to me is not a good sign. Okay, because the character doesn't look like the character in the comics. And that's kind of the thing that you expect from a Deadpool movie at this point, even with only one movie made. That's what I've come to expect, that the characters, whatever they're going to do, they're going to treat them right, they're going to look like they did in the TV show, or in the comic books. So her acting is going to have to be off the charts for me to forgive that she looks like that. But again, we don't even have a trailer out with her, for crying out loud. It's just behind the scenes stuff. They could change it, they could not change it, they could whatever, okay? But right now, we're all entitled to our opinion. Every single one of those opinions are valid, and my opinion is the makeup is lazy. That's the key thing for me. The makeup job on Domino is absolutely lazy. And boom, not changing that opinion. I'm not changing that opinion anytime soon, at least. No person is going to change my opinion unless Ryan Reynolds starts talking to me and says, dude, I need you to actually trust me. If Ryan Reynolds came up and said that, okay, fine. I would change my opinion. But I don't know Ryan Reynolds. I am in Canada, though. I am in Canada. Anyway, that being the case. So let's get to some of these comics again, really. Comments in the comics. Speaking of Venom, Timo Harry says, I would like to see a second run of Venom Space Knight. Yeah, I'm really hoping that he gets that Flash Thompson gets the Venom symbiote back from, what's his face, Eddie Brock. Or at least I wonder if he could just, because, like, man, it was just so good. It was just so damn good. Maybe he'll actually get a new symbiote. You know, why not? We know Domino. Sean says we know Domino is going to steal the show in Deadpool 2. I'm hoping. I don't know how she's acting. I don't know how she acts. I don't know any of that stuff. So I'm assuming that she will. I'm hoping. I don't know. True Mate. In my mind, she's still Mutant Blue without the stealthy afro. So far, the Kingpins in the universe are pretty good in my mind. The Kingpins, sorry. Yes, the Kingpins in the universe are pretty good in my mind. Yeah, absolutely. They're great. Sean Sandry again. Also speaking of Deadpool 2, I would die if they made a joke about the Summers family tree. That really would be perfect, wouldn't it? That really would be perfect. Yeah, everyone loves Colossus's design, Timo says. Deadpool, they should have been creative in prior films, like you said, Professor. Yeah, it would have been nice. It really would have been nice. I mean, we know what Deadpool looked like originally. I mean, Ryan Reynolds dropped out of that. A lot of people think that Ryan Reynolds was actually the guy with the stitches on. No, he was the guy in the beginning playing Wade Wilson. But when there was actually the Deadpool thing at the end, that wasn't him. That Baraka wannabe with the sewn lips, that wasn't him. That was a stand-in because he's like, I'm not doing this. So you got to love him. You got to love Ryan Reynolds, man. He is, he knows his comics, and he's a loyalist, and you got to love that about him. Timo, Venom in Space was good. Hey, where'd Dick Fillmore go? I hope I didn't piss him off. Okay, speaking of Deadpool, Josh Brolin in the Deadpool, as Cable in Deadpool, and also as Thanos in Avengers Infinity War. Now, I just looked at it as, okay, whatever. But I'm also seeing an explanation on the side of Marvel. Oh, well, it only makes sense that he would do that. We discussed it, and yeah, it would actually be good for... Shut up. No, don't even talk about it. Don't even mention it, okay? Because I think that for the most part, everybody knows what's really going on, okay? You got this. You also got over New Mutants. Rosario Dawson was tapped to play a character in the New Mutants film. Now, she backed out eventually. She was like, yeah, we're going to do it. Okay, fine. You know, screw it. I'm going to back out. I'm not going to do it. When push comes to shove, Fox is very lazy, and they go with the safe bets. And like, okay, we need superhero characters, okay? Let's look at superhero movies to see who could play superheroes, because all characters are the same. Because let's be realistic, they're not reading the comics. They're not looking at these characters and trying to think who would be the best for this. They're not hiring people to do that. Like, they're not hiring you and me to say, okay, look, we got, Cable. Let's think of Cable's personality and his look and all that stuff and take into account who would be the best Cable, you know? And then we just turn around and we say, oh yeah, well, let's pick Josh Brolin because he plays Thanos and he's big. Come on, man. None of us would do that. You know what I'm saying? None of us would do that. That's what they're doing. That's what they've been trying to do. And Marvel's kind of guilty of it too a little bit. Ted Grant, the guy who played Wildcat in the Arrowverse, you know what I'm saying? He was tapped to come over and play a minor role in one of in season 2 of Jessica Jones. You know, it's not out yet. It was just released. He's gonna be playing a guy called Oscar, I think it is. Like apparently a love interest. You know what I'm saying? That's a minor enough thing that I don't think that Marvel was like, oh, we got to take Wildcat from the Arrowverse. I don't think that was the case. He also played this same character. Also played in the movie the TV series Powers. So this guy's been like in several comic universes at this point. But is what it is. I just realized. Does young Scott know he has 3 kids and a grandchild? Sean, he does, actually. 3 kids. Hold on. Let me, we've got Rachel Summers, Prestige, and we've got Cable, and of course Hope. Yeah, he knows who all those are. Who's the third one? Who's the third child? Sorry, fill me in on that, please, Sean. Timo Harry, and one thing Fox missing out on, messed up with the X-Men films, they should have classic Sentinels fighting the classic X-Men in city scenes. Nate Gray, oh my God, thank you. How do I... Oh, jeez. Anyway, does he know about Nate? I'm trying to think of a storyline where he does, and I can't off the top of my head. I don't want to stop everything to look it up. But not what happened in Days of Future Past. Yeah, those Sentinels didn't look very good. A lot of Sentinels don't look very good. The new Sentinels that they're talking about playing up in the Gifted TV series, I have a feeling they're just going to be humans who, you'll hit them and there'll be some CGI robot parts in them. I think they'll be Sentinels disguised as humans. That's what I think they're going to be. Or they're just going to have those little tiny spider things. Those are going to be the Sentinels. Or maybe it'll be a mix of both. You know what I'm saying? But I would actually like to see actual Sentinels. it would be nice. You know what I'm saying? Even if it's just those classic Sentinels, they're only like a couple of feet taller, and can't move their kneecaps and their elbows. Whatever, man. I just want to see something like that. I would like to see the classic, like Mark IV Sentinels. I would love to see that. And then just bring Nimrod in. I know Bastion is awesome, but I loved Nimrod. Holy crap. He was just amazing. The battle was decent in DOFP, Days of Future Past. That's Timo Harry. But many fans want to see the classic Sentinels in battles against the classic X-Men. Yeah, and you know what? Why not use the classic X-Men? They're in existence, in continuity, in the comics right now. How hard would that be? True Mate. Oh, X-Man. I laugh out loud. I blanked on that one too. Yeah, see? Good. I'm not the only one. It's like, what's you guys talking about? So, the last thing I got was already the ice. I skipped around all over the place. Okay, so here. Basically, all I got now is the comics that I got this week. Sean, I already told you this on Twitter. I found, I still got the prices on here. That's not kosher. I've got Darkhawk #1. I found that. That was cool. It's not Darkhawk's first appearance, by the way, guys. That was actually in Marvel Premiere Volume 2, I think it was. Issue number 5, or is it 29? 23? Whatever. This is technically his second appearance, because he did have an earlier appearance. Okay. We're talking about Louise Simonson here. Louise Simonson, wife of Walter Simonson. What did she do? That was amazing. And it also heralded in the beginning of, what's his face? Apocalypse. Just re-added these to my collection. Mind you guys, I lost all of my comics back in 2011. All of them. And I was just reading digitally for a while. Actually, I just stopped because I was so drastically heartbroken that I lost them. But start digitally and everything, but now, yeah, so X Factor 1, 2, and 5. I know. I need 3 and 4. I need 4. I know. I'm getting there. Also found this little puppy. Holy crap, still in the package. No, this is not the first appearance of anybody, but it is X-Force #1, and that's a big deal. That's a big deal. Still in the package. It's still got a superhero trading card in this. I don't know. It's in a plastic, but it's actually in the original plastic also, so I don't even know what the card is in it. I'm not going to open up to find out. I just don't care that much. This was surprisingly not a lot of money. But yes, I finally got the kid who collects Spider-Man. This was actually my first spotlight on story. So happy that I found this. Let me, Darkhawk. Brevin, how did I lose them? I lost them. I always want to say in a fire because that's what it feels like to me. But I lost them because I moved overseas. I moved to Saudi Arabia. And I had all my stuff in a storage locker. You know what I'm saying? One of those storage bins. So like, Storage Wars and all those kinds of TV shows. Anyway, so yeah, awesome stuff here, right? But I was trying to pay for, I paid 3 months in advance before I left, and then I figured by then I would be able to figure out some kind of a payment system in order to keep on paying for that storage locker, which had all of my stuff in it, all of the stuff that I wanted to keep. It was a big storage locker too. And when I got over there, it took 3 months just to get a bank account over there, because just the way that things work, you know what I'm saying? And I was new and I didn't understand Arabic well enough when I first got in there. Excuse me, now I can get along just fine. I can tell a taxi wherever to go and whatever. Like I can hold, conversations, whatever. I'm really good in Arabic right now, but yeah, nothing. I had nothing, almost when I went over there. So yeah, it took forever, and I wound up actually becoming so late on the payments that they put it up for auction. So somebody got all of my amazing comics. I'm not mad at them. You know what I'm saying? Good on them. But I'm disappointed in myself for not finding a way to do it otherwise. But whatever. So I lost all my stuff. Captain America fan, and I got the original death of the. Actually, it's technically the second death of the Red Skull, but the first one in the modern comics. The Captain America death, the Captain America comics death of the Red Skull. I forget which issue that was. I think that was in issue number 38, and we saw him again in issue number 50. That was something. But issue number 300, Cap versus the Red Skull. This is actually a really good issue. Did this one introduce Mother Night? I can't remember. And no, this is not what you're thinking it is. This is Marvel Super Action starring the Avengers. So this is a reprint of the first issue of the first appearance of the Vision. I was in a rush. The comic book store was closing, and they had a half-price sale, so all the stuff was half-price. They had a half-price sale in this comic book store, and I just went nuts. I was like, and I'm running all over the place trying to find things, and I realized that I actually put down the interruption issue, Thor versus Hulk. Thor versus Hercules, the one where he punches him into New Jersey. I'm going to spotlight that that's actually when I do Hercules Explained in a minute. That's the story I'm going to do to explain for Spotlight and Story, because that's just like the funniest, best issue ever. What is this one? Is this also comics? This is just nope. This is just backings and boards that I got because I went to a thrift store. Oh, before I forget, check this out, guys. I have to wait until November for a new Captain America comic. I know. Dang. Yeah, I know, Brevin. Whatever, this life. It's all for a legacy. Here, check this out, guys. I found all four. I was actually thinking about getting this a long time ago. Oh, come on. I can't get... I'm freaking gigantic, and I can't hold all four of these in one hand. There we go. I knew I could. I got all four of the original Ghostbusters, the toys. I love these little collectibles. I got all four of them here. Boom. Ooh, and I'm actually going to be able to meet Ernie Hudson, the black guy, if you don't remember their names. I'm actually going to get the chance to meet Ernie Hudson in Hamilton Comic-Con if I go. I am hoping to go. Shawn Michaels is going to be there also. That's pretty cool. So, yeah, those are two guys I'm really hoping to meet and get some autographs. But I got all four of these, and all four of these together make... some of you guys probably already have this. Andre the Black Nerd has this, has all these things, but boom, this guy, all four of them make this Bath piece. I was really hoping the Build-A-Figure piece. This is cute. I was really hoping it was going to be the original Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, but can't always get what you wanted, right? Just ask Mick Jagger. But I actually found them all in a dollar store. I got them for $4 each, and that's $4 Canadian, so it's actually more like $2.75, $2.80, maybe $3 max. Yeah, that was actually a really good find. I couldn't believe I found those, like, oh, because they went down to $15 in like Walmart's, and I was like, if this goes down to 10 like my Mutant Ninja Turtles did, I will buy all four of them. But I'm not going to spend $15 on these. I'm not going to spend the original 30 or 25 that they were asking for. I saw them in a dollar store for $4. I was like, be still my heart, yoink. So yeah, grab those. Also, some of you guys might be looking at this. Actually, Dick Fillmore, he left the chat. That's a shame, because he'd probably flip out over this. Booyah! I got my good stuff over here. These actually came together. Got them for $40. Actually, 25% off, so I got it for $30. He actually does come with an Infinity Gauntlet piece, but I don't like it. Where did I put it? I put it someplace. I'm not going to use it because it sucks. It looks like this. He's doing it like this. And there's no way to twist and turn his hands so you can actually see all of the gems on his hands, the back of his hand and everything. He should be like this, but they did it like this. So I'm not going to use that hand. So I'm just using the regular hands. I'm going to have him doing this power pose that he always does when he's charging up to blast somebody. You know, usually with his eyes, but often with his hands. And then Mistress Death, who is not, she's posable figure, meaning you can't pose her. I know, oxymorons in the English language. But very happy I got these. Also, I got this amazing looking, I like the 6-inch figures. I got this guy right here, the Green Goblin. Look at that. I'm so happy I got the Green Goblin. So back to bed, kiddo. So yeah, I got the Green Goblin. I'm actually going to hang him up. If you guys see my figures up here that I hang up with fishing wire. Yes. I'm going to actually hang him up there also. And I've got a Peter Parker that can actually be dragged. So I'm going to hang him up with fishing line, like I do all of these guys. And yeah, I will look up at him every so often and marvel at how awesome he looks. How can I... There we go. That's better. So anyway, yeah, those are the figures I got. And as far as the individual smaller comics that I had found in the thrift store, not a lot of really great ones, but I'm fairly impressed with some of the ones I got. I got some new Exiles. What else did I get? Oh, these are all backwards. Jeez. I found some Deadpools. Whole bunch of Deadpools here. These are all volume 2, I believe, of Deadpool. Very satisfied. Yeah, see, I got like Dark Reign stories in here. Issue number 6. Going back, issue number 3. Got some Ultimatum advertisements in these. Yeah, a whole bunch of these. So I'm actually... Look at that cover. Look at that cover. Like Days of Future Past. Him and Bob. Hydra Bob. I got some Star Blast. Can't find those anymore. I don't know if you're going to believe this or not. I actually found Squadron Supreme. Like, that to me is just woof. Diamond Select, Thanos, and Lady Death. Yes, Timo. Dick said be back later. Reality called. Oh, that sucks. I didn't see that. That was probably when everything jumped. I got some Youngblood. Look at that. Oh, you guys, I think you guys are going to recognize this. Cyberforce. I found Cyberforce, issue number 1. How sick is that? And the binding and everything doesn't look bad. I could probably, that's probably a pretty good issue. This is the reason why I bought all the boards and the Mylar bags. Got some Punisher. It's just issue number 6 of 7, Hideout. So issue number 50. Final Days. Some of these are not in great condition, but some of them are. Iron Man, Director of S.h.i.e.l.d. Which issue is that? Issue number 22. Whatever, man. It's not great, but it's good condition. It's just the idea that I found a bunch of these old ones. And these are in thrift store. So it was like 99 cents for each one. Dark Reign, Dark Avengers, issue number 2. Oh, man. Loving it. Loving it. Supreme Power, Nighthawk from the Max series. Oh, yes. Issue number 1 of 6. Yeah, guys. That's what I'm talking about. I think this is the first time that Nighthawk actually used this costume. Oof. I couldn't believe it when I found that. I couldn't believe it. More Punisher Final Days. the not-so-recent Kingpin series. Here's something you guys are going to like. Bang! Look at that with TechNet on the front, the Excalibur. Oh, and I did get issue number 1 of Dark Avengers. That is freaking awesome. I think that's 2008. Am I wrong? Dragon Strike. I don't know if you remember that board game, but issue number 1 of Dragon Strike. Whatever. It's cool. It was an issue 1. And I found Death's Head 3. Just Death 3. Oh, man. Man, this is back when Dick would hate this because, yeah, that's that horrible thing. Yes, Sean, R.I.P. to Nighthawk. It was very sad. Anyway, okay, so this particular episode has ran pretty long. I'm okay with it, whatever. Oh, I know what you guys are waiting for. Okay, here it comes. We have the Explained in a Minute for Saturday. Lockjaw. Boom! Published. Explained in a Minute. And now I need since it's Saturday, my Saturday Explained in a Minute characters get a spotlight on story with them, right? So let's do the first 4-issue limited series of Lockjaw and the Pet Avengers. Bang! Good, I didn't miss it. So those 2 are up. And yeah, so I hope you guys enjoy. I don't see any more questions. Guys, okay, here's the thing. I'm going on vacation. I'm actually leaving tomorrow afternoon. It's actually a resort called Port Elgin. It's 2.5 hours north of Mississauga, where I'm at in Canada. So, boom, we're going up there. Going to spend a week there. I already have a couple things made. I have to get a couple more things made for the trips and just put onto my laptop so that I can just upload them from there. I have to go out now and find some, wake the kids up from nap, and go out now and find an internet stick that I can use because they have internet there, but there's going to be a lot of people using it, so I know how that works. It's not going to be fast at all. How do you feel Kingpin might be the mayor in Marvel Legacy? I would love it because if J. Jonah Jameson can do it, freaking Kingpin could do it. And it will be like Chris Christie being in charge. We're going to get, I'm from New Jersey, baby, so I know what corruption in politics is like. In New Jersey, don't be insulted if you're from Jersey, I'm from Jersey, we genuinely have the most corrupt government at the state level in New Jersey. We have mafia there. You know what I'm saying? We actually have genuine mafia there. We're the most corrupt. Trenton is the most corrupt city. It's not the most crime or anything, but it's the most corrupt. Guys, it's what Gotham City is actually based off of. I know. Look it up. Gotham City is actually supposed to be a representation of Trenton. So, yeah, I'm I'm not from Trenton. I'm from Asbury Park. But what do you call it? Yeah, I'm from Gotham, essentially. So, greater Gotham area. So, anyway, just too funny, too funny. If Kingpin were in charge, he would be like Chris Christie. We would get Bridgegate. He would close down public beaches, and he would go to them himself with his family. He would go to baseball games all over, like a Cubs game in Chicago, and get in somebody's face. You know, somebody calls him a hypocrite, and he get in their face. You know, like, yeah, I got a bodyguard here. What are you gonna do? You know what I'm saying? Like, just absolute sleaze. And yeah, he would be a tough guy, Chris Christie. That's the way I look at it. So I think that would make for some amazing comic stories. That's just my opinion. That being the case, anyway, so yes, my vacation. I don't feel like I need a vacation. Wife feels like she needs a vacation, so we're gonna go on vacation. I did offer to go by herself. She's like, no, I'm gonna go with you. Why? I don't even want to go with me. But anyway, so I'm gonna be going there. I'm going to try and do some uploads as I can. I am not going to be able to run the face rip game for the Marvel face rip game for Nerdarchy tomorrow. I already let them know. I'm really sad at that. I'm going to try and get into the Friday game at Nerdarchy for the Open Legend game because it might be the last one. It might actually be the last one. That was a sponsored game. So it might be the last one. We'll see. Enjoy your vacation, Professor. Hopefully it doesn't end up like Storm and Wolverine visiting Genosha. Oh, dude. Hey, man, as long as I got some kind of a mutant power, like roll for it, I'm good. Because, anyway, what do you call it? So they, what happened? Anyway, yeah, I'm going to be up there, and I'm going to try and get an internet stick today so that we've got our own internet while we're up there, like a good solitary internet just for me, all for me. And I'm going to have to get my comics digitally because since this is a resort. Actually, there is supposed to be a super Walmart up there, which completely defies the idea that it's a freaking luxury resort. Sorry, when I went to the Poconos, Tannersville specifically, there was no Walmart to be found anywhere around. So this, maybe today it's different. I don't know. That was back in the day. But yeah, the way I look at it is, I don't know if there's going to be a comic book store up there, which means I'm going to have to double down and buy the comic books that I always buy on actual issues, physical copies. I'm going to actually have to buy those twice because I'm going to have to buy them digital format up there. So whatever, it is what it is. Suffrage. So suffrage is, anyways, we know what suffrage is. So that's what I'm going to try and do. I'm going to try and get out my reviews. My reviews are probably going to be live-ish, though. You know what I'm saying? I'm not bringing my main computer with my main software. So, yeah, my interviews will probably, or my reviews will probably be, all right, guys, so listen, here's the case. You know what I'm saying? And doing them that way. So slightly different format, sorry. But for my Saturday podcast, because I'm not coming back until Sunday night-ish, my Saturday podcast, I'm still going to try and do it, and on time. I'm going to try and do it with my phone. I have to set all that stuff up. I'll do it with my computer if I have to, but I will try and make it so I can actually walk around the resort and show you guys around. You know what I'm saying? Excuse me, it's a perk that my wife gets with her job, that once a year we can actually go to this thing. Once every 2 years. Because like the company is totally paying for this, so I'm not complaining. Anyway, yeah, that's the deal. So I'm going to actually try and do it so I can show you guys around and see what's up. Worst case scenario, I'll try and like do it early and then upload it, you know, slightly edited. But for the most part, yeah. So I'll try and keep you guys informed. I will be back Sunday night. So Monday, I'll probably do some regular things. But next Wednesday, so not this Wednesday, next Wednesday, we'll be back to a full schedule. I will still be uploading if I can. If I have to go to a freaking Starbucks to upload them, I will still be uploading my Explained in a Minute stuff and everything. So yeah, there's that. All right, guys, that's it for me. Professor Bill, Comic Book University. Class dismissed. Bye, guys. Thanks for showing up.